What's up, YouTube? CodForman221 here, and welcome to another Cody of Heroes 2 number 50 online replay from my online replay series for Cody of Heroes 2. We're playing it on Angomuda, and I've been having a lot of good matches on here, so let's just take a look at the teams here. I'm level 94, this guy's level 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. So actually this is perfectly balanced practically, since I'm not level 100. So you can see the doctrines here. We have two Soviet industries. Now, I've been seeing a surge of Soviet industries, especially in 4v4. So it seems like people are just really liking or buying that doctrine. So if you look at the Soviet industry, this gives you repair stations. It also gives you, basically cuts off your manpower, and it shifts you on to fuel and munitions. So you can get vehicle repairs. I mean, the repair stages you can see are going to cost you, I think it's 50 munitions. Let me just double check here. 75 munitions. So you can see that he chose that. And it doesn't kick in just right away, I don't think. It starts in a little bit. So let's go down to me. I am blue after all. I was playing and I didn't have the player color set. By the way, it's in the settings. Different player colors, you can check it on and off, and it's on right now since we have different colors. And it wasn't, so I'm used to looking at that to see how many players are attacking me or teaming up. So I was seeing like 2 red players, and I was like, how does he have that many infantry? And it turns out it was 2 guys. So you can see on this map, one, this is the cutoff for our fuel. This is a very important point to hold, especially as a Wehrmacht on this side. Well, they can basically flip. And this is the cutoff for this fuel. So you can see there's kind of, if you look at the map, you can kind of see that this this thing here, like this line on the map down here, is the cutoff, because you can see those points aren't connected. And same thing here, you can see this is all kind of one territory, and then it kind of splits into this one. So those are the cutoffs. Cutoffs are very important. So I decided to go Luftwaffe. I haven't showed you actually a video when I've gone Luftwaffe, but it really worked out well in this match, so I just want to talk a little bit about it. So Luftwaffe, you're not going to be getting any units, any heavy tanks, which could be pretty bad because, you know, I could have used some Tigers or something on this match. So with Luftwaffe, you do have the medical supply drop. I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to build a bunker at base. But I do believe that you can put this on a... you can heal instantly and fight harder. Maybe I should have used that. Anyway, the thing I'm going to be using a lot is this, the drop zone, and I'll be using recon. I'll be using the bombing incendiary, but I will not be using any of the bombing strikes. So you can see right now I'm trying to rush up, get into cover, and defeat these guys up close. But I just had to pull back. Look how many guys are up here. There's 2 conscript squads and an engineer. So I got my MG here, who's mounting himself on the wall, kind of through the wall there. And these guys got right around me, and I'm like, this is bad. This guy has some good micro, or can at least just get around. And I'm like, he probably has a Molotov. So he's his own machine gun helping to support here. And he threw a Molotov on me, but luckily I have some Grenadiers to help support me. I do have some more Grenadiers coming up from the back lines. I'm trying to move my machine gun here. I'm just gonna put them up here, but I saw them charging for it, so I'm just gonna fall back with this MG. I'm gonna try to set up here. I don't think they'll throw another Molotov, but they managed to wipe that squad out. So this is a big fight over here right now. Lots of Grenadiers and conscripts. Reminds me of Cody of Heroes 2 first came out. Grenadiers and conscript battles. Now it's a lot of shock troops, really. This game is... The great thing about an online game is you can play the online game just like the first day, but it will totally change. Look at that guy shooting fire off the top of the building. How sweet is that? So you guys are trying to flank, but we have our machine gunners and the flamethrower there, so it's even turning his MG. So I brought my men up to get into some cover here to start taking on these combat engineer squads. You can look in the middle. We have kind of lost the middle somewhat. Machine guns there. They are seeing an MG42. Remember, you do not want to give your weapons away. And on this side, it's not looking so good, but the mortar is taking out this building that they were using as an MG nest. More MGs. So you can see so far right now, they have some Soviet industry. Let's go to the Soviet side here. Right now, I have 10 kills. Anyway, so 2 Soviet industry. You're gonna look at Long and Bubblade Dawn. Oh, that's funny. Bubblade Dawn as the increased penetration, weapon penetration for the T-34s. And this guy has increased armor penetration for his tanks. And I think you get that for destroying heavy German tanks with the Su-85s. So anyway, 2 Soviet industries. So let's go to, we're actually on him right now. You can see how much manpower he actually has. Oh, okay, guys. So okay. It used to not be this way, at least when I was doing it. It's not going to give you. That's right. They changed all the points away. I don't use Soviet industry very much, so they changed a lot of the points around. So basically, when you get to 3 points after you get an early start, then you get the fuel. Then it'll switch over stuff. Fuel becomes increased, as does munitions. Oh, fuel. Just fuel. Okay. Just fuel, and you lose your manpower. This map has a lot of munitions, which is good. So you can see right now we do have a decent amount. I'm trying to go around because I see a mortar here, and I thought it was a 120mm mortar. But I hear the Uran. I'm just going to try to fall back. I am working. I am building right now. I'm so low on manpower that I'm not reinforcing those guys. I'm trying to get these guys out here, but then they got shot. So the MG42 is up here. That's my second MG42. I manned this with Grens, and I pulled back. I'm starting to reinforce my Grens with the MG42 light machine gun. I mean, with the heavy infantry engagements early on in these matches, it's usually really important that you do have. I mean, if you can afford the munitions, give your guys more killing power, especially as they vet up. These guys will shred through conscripts. So you can see at this point, I was a little upset. I'm like, guys, we're losing our fuel. I'm pretty much like, we can do our best to hold this side. So they cut off our fuel there, which is bad. We went down to 22, but you can see we are building fuel caches. My allies are. I'm a little too focused on what's going on. I'm a little, I'm kind of building and teching up and making sure I get a half track for us. And I'm going to try reinforcing these guys. So they did take this back. You can see the Soviets have now, are moving up some mortars. They want to take out this building here. And the conscripts get around. So I have my 2 Grens here, and I'm ready to deal some death to these guys with our MG42s. I gotta say, that LMG is so good. Look, we wiped out that squad. So I swore the conscripts, I thought they would go in there, which would be good for them. I'm trying to go after this mortar. I just want to hit it with 2 of these rifle grenade shots, and then I figured I'd just kill them on the retreat there, but they barely got away. At this point, I just want to pull back my guys. They're getting some experience with killing some infantry. I just pull back this unit that's down to half strength. I'm amazed at that these guys are still being suppressed. Anyway, the conscripts came back here and they hit my engine here, but they're still standing right in front of this. This used to not do any damage, but now it's doing a decent amount of damage. You can see how slow it is. So these guys are using the very impressed. Well, it's good that he was able to like realize that he can just toss stuff over buildings. And I couldn't hit him from that angle because I was trying to protect myself. So I'm going to pull back my MG. I realize we're losing this part here, and there's not really a whole lot I can do about it. And I did just unlock this. So I'm trying to reinforce my men. I'm even sending up engineers. You can see more of my men are retreating and coming back up. I had to get these guys out of here, but notice how I'm equipping my men with MG42s. I have the munitions. So I'm getting 52 munitions a minute, which is great. We do have a munitions cache, which is helping down there. Light artillery barrage on this side, pushing through the center here. So I decided to do a supply drop before I repair. I thought he might try to steal my supplies. So you can see these munitions. So I'm going to go from 73 to 104. So basically what this does is just, for some manpower, it drops fuel munitions. Look at him trying to steal my munitions there. It's okay, Blade Assassin. I was worried the Soviets would push, because that's usually what they do. That's the only other time I've done this. It wasn't in a very secure location. So that's more munitions. You just do not want that falling in enemy hands, because it costs you. I see some Soviets advancing here, and I do have my MG42. Well, I do have my Grens with the MG42. We'll start doing some damage. You see the Soviets did upgrade with the submachine gun package, the GPSHs. Very deadly at close range. I love seeing these little things. I thought I was going to crush my guys there. So 3 grenadiers with the MG42s. Yeah, you just gotta pull out there. So now I'm starting to get some more manpower. We haven't pushed back, but there's not really anything to stop us, but we don't know that. A lot of stuff going on in the center here. We even got some Germans in here. Gotta say, they're using their conscripts pretty well. Let's go back to the Soviet industry guy. I believe it was Bob Don or whatever. So he switched over. You can see he's down to 192 manpower and is getting 57 fuel a minute. Now, if you look at us, 41 fuel a minute. Oh, this is one of the great things. So this is the Oval Blitz cargo truck. You can see it's giving us extra fuel a minute, which is pretty good. Extra fuel, extra munitions, and it's even better when you put them, like, you should have put some on back here, because if you put it on the field, I think it gives you more. Anyway, I'm in combat here with these guys that are throwing grenades. Their mortars are coming at us. I'm thinking that we could probably take on some of these guys. Even have an MG42 kind of giving some support. And these guys are charging right at us. And I just want to pull those guys back because they were low on health. So this is kind of like my mobile HQ. I'm able to reinforce if I can pull back successfully. And they keep bombarding around this area. So you can see I've teched up 3 times. I'm just saying, you know what, we're getting a decent amount of fuel right now. I'm not seeing any kind of tank from these guys. So, you know what, I have a lot of grenades. I can panzer strike some of these guys. I am calling a recon though, because I can't really see what's around here. I do see there's a lot of enemy troops here. In fact, okay, there's a combat. There's a, I'm just trying to see what's on this side. You can see they have a ton of fuel caches. So we're forced to fall back. Luckily a Panzer IV comes and I have my Grenadiers flanking. I'm surprised at the amount of damage they're taking from these guys, considering we're veterans E2. They do have the mortar crew shooting at them. I hate 120mm mortars. I mean, I like using them, but when they're against me... In fact, they're 400 manpower. I'm not sure they're worth it sometimes, but in an engagement like this... By the way, the shock troops, that is not a great thing to counter tanks. They're specifically designed so you can't counter tanks with shock troops, because that'd be really overpowered. So recon spawn around. I'm seeing a lot of mortars. This place is pretty locked down. You can see they built their first of many of these little repair stations here. It's a great thing. You can build a couple repair stations and then just get your tanks back in action. I'm surprised these guys were just not getting suppressed. Until they managed to throw a grenade that kills a bunch of my guys. So, I think we just got shot by the tank. Yeah, the tank just killed us, and yeah, that's how I lost that. Was that like... What is this? Is this like a part of a well or part of a wheel or something? I don't know. Either way, this place is getting torn up. I didn't even know there was blood. Did you know there was blood in this game? Huh. Okay, so I converted this. Before I send my Grens back into the meat grinder, I am going to heal them up. So we're using the medical station. With the amount of attrition that we're going back and forth, it's important that I have the most of my troops that I can. So you can see right now I'm just going to save up for a Panther because we're getting a ton of fuel a minute. He's got this down here now. Starting to use the mortar half-track with this. I mean, Blade's doing a good job. Like, we're like, I go in, he goes in, but we're not going in together. So that's probably, I mean, we're not concentrating our forces, but it's like I hit him, they hit him. They are just pushing up and up. And I'm repairing my half-track here. I have my own machine gun coming back. Su-85. The great thing is that he damaged the engine, but frankly with the amount of machine guns and anti-tank they have, it's going to be hard for us to push in and take advantage of that. So I put my MG42 here in case any of these conscripts try to rush over here. And I do have some of my own troops back here. Yeah, they're just pounding us with mortars. You can see the mortars have no kills actually. Well, that one does. I guess 120mm mortar had to pull back. See, there's kind of a push with the Oswin. That's a great thing to use when... I should actually use it more often. It's a great thing to use when they have a lot of infantry. And by the way, these things used to have a lot more hit points and now they don't, so pretty easy to destroy. So I'm pushing in, and I just realized there's like... I want to wipe out this MG just because it'd be really, you know, so the camera machine reinforced. And I see all these guys, and I'm trying to manage multiple troops to pull these guys back, and these guys just got utterly decimated by those 3 units. I mean, they died so quickly. I had no time to withdraw them. Oh yeah, I was calling this in, by the way. This is the first of many of these incendiary bombing runs. You know, you're going to make a bunch of infantry on me. I'm just going to burn them out. So I was going to try to pull these guys back, but to like the half track to reinforce, but it turns out that's not how it's going to be. I'll repair his tank. MG42 here. Gotta say, these conscripts like Veterancy 2 or 3 with these PPSHs, they are good units. You can see back at base, this guy probably has medics. Yep. There's 120mm mortar. Doing more recon, you can see it's going to kind of show me roughly what's around here. It's going to come down here, and then it's going to loop back. It's going to kind of loop around here. So I can see they do have an SU and some more mortars. They're like bringing up their SU thing and like... I was like, ah, that's not my kind of fight. They got on an SU from the front. We keep making pushes, though, with individual units. They don't have their MGs, which is good. There's a second SU that pops up. So keep in mind, I don't think this guy wants Soviet industry. So these guys want Soviet industry. So red wants Soviet industry, and yellow and orange wants Soviet industry. I thought we were going against Soviet industry considering how many tanks they had. Well, you could see they are. Actually, that guy didn't even go Soviet industry either. Oh, that must be. He didn't pick the doctrine yet. That's weird. He'll pick it. Some people don't like their doctrine until the end anyway. So they remanned their machine gun. I'm telling you, with the amount of infantry they have, a nice half track would be good. So I'm repairing my Panther. Yeah, we're kind of just waiting because frankly, we don't have enough to push this position right now. And our allies are having a hell of a fight on this side. Those meat grinders. Luckily, they're countering with a bunch of Panzer Grenadiers and tanks. Oh, my ally actually came over to assist, which is good because I was kind of holding that front. Kill and damage tanks is always a good thing to do. You can see that the AI, not the AI, you can see the AT gun has been decrewed. I wish we had smoke for this. That would be amazing. Still no movement from those guys on this side. Osman doing damage. Surprisingly, that thing did not die, but there was a lot of SUs there. You know, you don't want to charge into 2 SUs. You can, however, hit their engine. This thing shoots down my aircraft too, so to counter Luftwaffe, you probably could get a couple of those and just decimate. Yeah. The thing is, though, they can't counter this because this comes in so fast that they can't shoot down. They can't shoot down your recon. Anyway, they're gonna push in as I'm getting supplies. I was a little nervous at this point. So these guys are kind of crawling up. I want to kind of. I love seeing those little things come down. They're mostly munitions, though. So I'm gonna save up for another tank. You can see the mass amount of conscripts they have. These guys did. I mean, there are 3 guys over here. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Orange is just building some of these for the tanks. And I was trying to resupply these guys. Actually, there's a trick you can do under machine gun fire. You can roll your half track up, and your guys will crawl into it unless they're pinned, and you can get them out that way. So I'm using this building for cover. You can see I'm doing some more recon around here. And this guy decides to build some artillery. I don't like this position for artillery. I think it should be like right around here. Because he can hit, his target is right here, right? That's very vulnerable to tanks. And now he's sniping at my half track. I'm like, get the hell out of here. So yeah, I am calling these bombing runs on. They're probably getting me a decent amount of kills. You can see that 63 kills so far. I just want to make this, like you can see the guys burning. I just want to make this utterly painful for these guys to hold, and that's the way to do it. Early on, the Soviets used to do this all the time, especially in those first doctrines. So I just want to shoot a Panzer strike and retreat. Let's give them guys some more energy. I do have some of these guys up here. You know, if they want to come across the river, that's fine. I'll just keep shooting at them. Now they're doing the mortar barrage. So they have a lot of artillery, and we can't really advance just yet because they do have an SU over here. Our allies are getting pushed back. He's actually getting sniped by the SU. When you use SUs like snipers, I mean, they're pretty deadly. So I don't have the munitions yet to call that in, but I will. He's even calling those things in. And at that point, they are starting to use some artillery. Or they will be very soon, but they are shooting heavy shells at us. Oh, that's a light artillery barrage. I pulled back my MG, and this guy was just hitting him dead on. I'll get him back, though. Keep in mind, you can't use this unless you have line of sight, so... At this point, I hear the artillery gun shooting, and it did level this building. And this T-34 comes up, and his main target is this. So it got abandoned, and I'm surprised that, frankly, this guy survived a head-on two Panthers. So I'm gonna kind of, I know there's SUs up there. I don't want to push up too quickly, but at this point, he's clicking to me as. So my ally launched a bombing run, took out their art. I'm gonna run up with my Panthers here, and I'm just gonna try to quickly get rid of this T-34. It's getting repaired by those guys. I know we can take a decent amount of fire from that guy. So he almost clicked ram there. And I'm like, you son of a gun, this guy has one guy left. So right now I'm microing these guys pretty heavily. I'm trying to pull back. We're using reverse. I'm trying to get the guy out. He's more wounded. You know, if I lose this Panther, let it be. But we've definitely hurt them a decent amount. So I'm going to pull this guy the hell back because he can actually get out of there. You know, if this SU decides to push up further, you know, let him be. I'm going to try to pull behind the building possibly. He's still hitting me. I'm trying to reinforce. I'm keep pulling this guy back because I don't want him to get killed. He knows he's smart. He's smarter than that than to let his look at this. There's just like a how many of those are there? There's 1, 2. Is there a third one somewhere? Because that looks like an unnecessary number of engineers. He's helping the team out. I'll give him that. And I decided to get some artillery to fire back, like right where I think this thing will be. Oh, that's one. Wow, how did I miss it? That was like point blank. Just stopping up these guys. Could use some manning his own troops there. I don't like those things. I don't know, I just don't like Soviet industry very much. I feel like it's a little spammy. I'm not fighting against Soviet industry too. They're getting the perks of the Soviet industry with that. These guys are really fighting against Soviet industry. Well, and they have the KV-2s. That thing just levels buildings, if you can see that. So I'm pulling up. This guy's trying to snipe me using tracking. I mean, that increases his basic moves. Okay, if you're enjoying this match right now, please like the video. That'd be good. I know Code of Heroes 2 is like my most popular series on YouTube, so show it some love, especially for Season 2, which will be coming out with the Western Armies DLC on the 24th. Yeah, and tell your friends because frankly, I got some great tips for the DLC. Like I've already got some kind of things that are pretty good. Won't this be a great target for the fire thing? Look, he's running through the fire. It will burn your unit's health away, or not apparently. Yeah, luckily this thing was abandoned. And he knows that, you know, he knows he could be in trouble. So I was going to try to launch a Panzerwerfer again, but we're being attacked by these guys. Throwing smoke, very smart to get the MG to fall back. No upgrades up for this. These things are 50, they used to be 30. So I got the engine repaired on this one, so I'm going to put both my men there. And then I see a thing, and I'm just like, every time you see red smoke, just pull the hell back. I want to get this guy here, but they completely destroyed his engine. And that's a bombing run. So they destroyed that, killed a lot of engineers that were unfortunately on this side of the tank. And grenadiers are falling out of the sky. Look at the buildings they destroyed. Like this building's gonna fall down too. So we're starting to get Tigers out now. You can obviously see Vet Kong has chosen Lightning More. He's got to be careful. But he is destroying these repair things, and I do appreciate that a lot. But you see, because they shot, we are just bombing them from the air. He's doing bombing runs, I'm doing incendiary. I want to utterly destroy these units, and it's, you know, right on all those guys that he's trying to reinforce them. And, you know, our allies are doing a great job helping us on this side, because they hold the middle and we hold this side. You know, we'll win this match, you know, hold 2 victory points. More artillery is coming down. I think it's from this guy, yep. And we are just pushing these guys back. Veterans E3 though, that's pretty impressive. And keep in mind, all their little repair stations about this one have been destroyed. And look at all the dead Soviets right here. That is ridiculous. It's like a graveyard. Anyway, roughly around this time, I'm reinforcing my men and bringing them back to the front. Like I say, I don't look back at my base. I always keep my eyes kind of towards the front line. So if I want to get a Panther or something, I'll go to this, click that. I really never look back at my base. And you know, I kind of figure units aren't like, you see how that they have that these things are like they're not moving. That shows you that they're probably at base, and that's when I click on them. So anyway, at this point, I kind of see that this T-34 is kind of behind their lines, and I want to help, but I see the Tiger has it. See, there's a lot of heavy Soviet tanks, and they're just on this ridge guarding this VP. I'm telling you, they even locked them down. So right now it's looking pretty bad for us. Shock troop spam galore. So around this point, I decided to get a little gutsy here. I know a lot of these guys are dead, so I'm gonna start shooting right in this SU here. And then I see the IS-2, and I'm like, oh my gosh. As much as I want to kill this Veteran 3 IS-2, I probably should pull back. I think I can get around it or something, so I'm just going to drive straight through and do a big loop around. Just get the hell away from it. Thankfully, Blade Assassin here helping me out here. Anyway, I lost my Panther, unfortunately, due to this SU, so he died in honor, though. And meanwhile, they're going to lose their ISU-152. Very heavy armor here. And my engineers are up here just doing work. Like, I guess they're supposed to repair. And then the Soviets killed their own guy there. So my gunner needs to be revived. I'm pulling this tank back, Veteran Z2, pulling back my engineers. He's going to pursue this. The Tiger should finish this guy off. You need to stop with your tank, because now it's like it's seeing other targets. Oh, actually, he pulled the smoke and tricked this guy to lure him forward. So, we pretty much just decimated these guys. I'm launching rifle grenades. I do not want like a mortar to wipe out a Veteran C2 Grenadier. So I'm going to try to launch another rifle grenade or something. But I'm just going to actually move these guys up. And I'm going to move these guys, because if they have a mortar going here, you know, I figured. So this tank is being repaired by my engineers. These guys have to fall back. I'd love to capture the 120mm mortar. And they get stuck here on their own artillery. Actually, the gunner gets killed, and the guy holding the mortar got killed and had to pull back. And then we have the counterattack from lots of infantry. The Soviet industry is shifted all the way onto this side. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I have to pull back. And this guy, you know, be very scared of these kind of human wave tactics. Don't be like terrified or anything, but you know, be afraid they're just gonna destroy your engine while you have other tanks behind you. And we are just, these Soviets are just getting utterly decimated. The Luftwaffe is having a field day with these guys. It's like the Blitzkrieg all over again, with the amount of Luftwaffe working with the tanks on the ground, killing the infantry. So I moved this half track eventually over here to help replenish my guys, but I'm seeing Soviet troops coming, so I need to repair my men, or replenish my men here. So now we're holding this, but we're barely holding this. Look, this guy is running weird. Like, he's like, I don't have a weapon. So I'm gonna kind of push in my guys. I kind of see that this guy's rear is exposed, and they're kind of pulling back. So I'm like, okay, I think I can take that guy out, but he's doing a lot of damage. And since I'm getting attacked from the flank here, I am gonna pull back. But we did manage to take out that thing, so that's another tank down. Keep in mind, these tanks cost a lot. Let's just go and see how much one of these costs here. 630 manpower, and you're getting 83 manpower a minute. Not good. That's going to take him another 6 minutes to replace those. So, hurt the Soviet industry, take out those heavy tanks. And, you know, he has one SU here. And I have these guys right here, which I'm going to be replenishing. So you can see we have like a mobile repair station up here. Gosh, these matches on this thing are so much fun, and they always are a lot of heavy armor. So keep that in mind. So it's kind of weird for me to do the Luftwaffe, right? Luckily, the other 3 guys had Tigers. You can see they did assault support, Stuka close air support, very good, and Spearhead. So they all had Tigers except me. But I had the Panthers. So can you imagine if I went Panzer IV? I would have been screwed with the Panzer IVs. Like, I couldn't take on that heavy armor in the Soviets. So keep in mind, this guy is Soviet industry. And the human wave is replenished. I gotta say, this guy, Crispy, ton of infantry, and these guys aren't even fully replenished. I don't know what's going on there. So you can see right now I have 145 kills and 52 men are dead. Killing quite a lot of men. I mean, I don't have as many Grenadiers as I had in the beginning, but I do have a decent amount. I do want to grab that mortar, but definitely not with these guys. I don't know why my men are shooting at those guys. I'm trying to go after this tank here, but I just gotta fall back. I'm just gonna have to fall back because frankly I can get some shots off, but there are other guys here. I don't want to lose these men, so I'm gonna pull them back a little early. But I will have these guys help. Luckily, these guys got a little distracted, and I feel pretty confident that my Veteran C3 and Veteran C2 guys can take out those men. But you know, they did run into a grenade. And I'm like, I by accident misclicked and pulled both men back, but you know, it's not really a big deal. Besides, I can just call one of these things on when they come. And dun 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 dun, look at all these Tigers moving up and the Panthers. So during this match you would say go go go, and that was like our signal to like attack. And look, these T-34s really flying our lines. So critical moment. This building is shielding us from their SUs. They do not have proper line of sight. So they're hitting my tanks, but I'm just flanking around. We are trying to break the back of the SUs on this side. Now these guys are not Soviet industry, keep that in mind. So we're taking casualties. There's air raids going off, bombs, strafing runs, a lot of bombs. They did miss it. I did manage to dodge that, which is pretty cool. I did call my own bombing thing for right here. Roughly around here. I did kill quite a lot of these men in that squad. So I'm about armor preservation right now. So I'm bringing up my men to help, you know. I don't want to lose any of my armor, especially as we gain more and more veterancy. And they do have a lot of, they still have a decent amount of tanks around, so it's not like we're going to really quit or anything. Anyway, I do have another one of these rocket guys coming up. I figured I don't need a 4th Panther, and I am at 100 man population cap here. That thing got abandoned, that's hilarious. So they're charging in an SU, Veteran C3, and I gotta move up. I kind of figure it's a trap or something, and I see 3 SUs. I do not like that. So I'm trying to maneuver around this way. And they hit me out of control, but I didn't manage to wipe out that guy. These guys, like, this guy decided, like, first of all, they wiped out one of my engineer squads, which is not good. I'm just gonna pull back my tanks. I don't want to lose them. I already lost 1 tank, you know. I'm a little nervous. They're using tracking, and they didn't manage to wipe out that Panzer. I'm pretty nervous right now. I'm trying to blitz and get my tank the hell out of here. So I'm trying to back it up this way, and I'm like, oh my goodness, clear the path, and there's tanks here. He's moving up. And look at this, no health. And he pulled back because this Tiger saved me there. And I have no problem trying to take this. More shock troops. This guy's just been, this Alex guy's been spamming shock troops like the whole game. That's the only thing we've really seen from him. And this guy's been ISU 152s, which can be used properly. Can be used quite well. So his engineers are going to help me. I wish you could build some of these little repair stations. We had them in the first company of heroes. And I'm going to take out this Veteran 3 guy. You know, we're a little unhappy with how this match is turning out. I'm trying to flank around him in the engine, do more damage. But I just decided to hit him in the front, and it worked. See all the Soviet weapons kind of laying around. And I am trying to take out this, but I'm like, nah, you know, we won't be able to actually take that out with our light arms. As you can see, this battle's been shifting onto this side and that side. This side's pretty locked down, and there's 1,200 manpower here and quite a lot of fuel protecting this victory point. And, you know, they're running in the center with a lot of troops. Another one of these guys, man. These guys have a lot of men. More like a lot of armor. We did decimate this guy. Let's go to Crispy here and see what he has. Yeah, he has some shock troops and that in this tank area. There's plenty of manpower. He could get a lot more troops. Maybe he's going for some more tanks. Remember, he's the one that went behind our lines. Now it seems like it's the Tiger Corps coming in. And, you know, it's hard to stop the Tiger Corps. I mean, especially with tanks like this where we can get around you easily. And someone else is doing some recon, which is good. It's always good to see what's kind of around before you advance up. And he's keeping his Tigers alive. So there's like some marked target thing or whatever from this guy. I don't know what that was, but either way, it's out of control. You know, he's just gonna push up, and I'm trying to push up with my Panther because I want to help. I'm gonna blitz him up there because, you know, I want to support my fellow teammate against these guys. They need all the help they can. You know, this guy will do a lot of damage if they stop moving. So I'm gonna try to flank around this guy here. None of my shots are hitting him though, which isn't good. I am behind him and I am helping out his Tigers. Veteran G3 on this, gonna pull all the way around to his engine. He's just screwed and he knows it. You know, this guy's lost pretty much everything he's had. He's trying to minimize the damage to any one of his tanks here. He gets rid of it. And there's another SU there, so I'm gonna pull back. I am gonna try to make another Panther when I can. So he's still charging the SUs, so this guy's gonna beat up. I mean, they're just an SU, right? You can totally just surround them and take them out like this, right? And he keeps sending the shock troops to try to take us out. Not gonna work. With my veteran grenadiers here and my kind of mobile HQ thing. This guy needs to be repaired. I really didn't do a good job using my Panzer Warper. Another tank. This guy's been decimating infantry. This guy's making no infantry. This guy is making some shock troops. I mean, they really don't have any infantry if you look at it. They have a couple mortars and some engineers that are just building these things like crazy. So he's going to pull back his Panthers. Look, that shocked the crew there. Oh, he even got that. He should have blitzed out of there. Not sure if he had the munitions. I'm trying to call my thing here. And I heavily damaged this and this thing, their fuel cache there. So I heavily damaged that. They're pulling up more tanks. They still have a tank guarding here. They have a T-34, and that's not going to do a whole lot. So he's pulling back his tanks all the way back to here. They do have bouncing Bettys along here in Tellermine, so good job mining our flank there. I'm repairing my tank on close to the front line. And this is when they're using, they called a Sturmovik on us. How many of these have we killed? Like 3 of those, Crispy? Those are hard. I mean, if you use those well, those are deadly. Promise, we have to maneuver. That's what the German tanks are, especially all these tank destroyers. I mean, like, this is designed to destroy a building pretty much with its 102 gun howitzer. Right? So if you get, especially if this thing is on its own and unsupported, you saw I was supporting my guy with infantry last time in that Elephant versus ISU 152. Worst possible time this guy pulls up. However, I do have my own guys here. Rear strike. He needs to blitz out of here. I throw my own troops in here. Veteran G3. Oh, that bounced off. Thank goodness. So I'm like trying to destroy this guy. I'm wondering why he's not pulling back. I really am surprised. MG42. They threw smoke on it. They're really trying to get rid of these guys here. I'm gonna pull back. But you can see this guy is just 19 infantry and 3 vehicles. But another Tiger is down. We're losing multiple Tigers. Well, I haven't lost any Tigers, so I can't make any, but we've lost a lot of Tigers. Heavy armor casualties on both sides. You can see right now, I'm a little more even, 166 and 71. Still getting rid of a lot more of these Soviets, and they're taking us down. I guess I could have recruited a lot of... I need to pick up this, but I actually don't. The Soviets don't, though. We're taking a lot of their heavy weapons, I guess, and they can reinforce them. That's one thing you can do with some of these pioneers. You can, like, pick up MGs and stuff. It's actually pretty useful. So I had to take their fuel for a brief moment. That's so industry. 34 fuel, so it's still not too much, but we're getting 44, so just getting harassing their fuel is always a good thing. And this point does take that. And at this point, they can see that guy's up there. And the Sturmovik, I need to pull that guy back. And like, so you can see, it's not like me and yellow on this side. I'm getting help from green and also from cyan. This guy has only killed 3 infantry and a building. Oh, he killed a friendly. Those Germans are like, I'm happy to be alive. Too thin armor, in my opinion, on the T-34 Force 76 there. If Soviet industry didn't have this and they had T-34 85s, they'd be super overpowered. Yeah, they do have that flamethrower tank, though. Look at that, 600, 1,000 munitions, 600 of those. Ridiculous. So you can see, Crispy has not really helped his team out too much in this match. You know, he's pretty much been decimated multiple times. Since a couple tanks in by themselves, they get destroyed. Now he's making some shock troops. That's a start. He had a ton of infantry in the beginning, though. Remember? Do you remember how he had all these support weapons up here? Well, obviously you watched the video, or at least if you're joining me now, welcome. If you're gonna go watch some of the epic assaults. So now they're starting to, you know, the tanks are getting more and more veterancy, but they are still making counterattacks. They are losing tanks. What is that we're using? That's kind of marking that tank. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, that guy got destroyed. There's another one of these here, and I'm just watching this going, oh my goodness. Like a spam of KV2s. I'm like, I'm gonna come help here. So I got my Veteran 3 KV2. I'm shocking these guys, hitting their rear armor. I just want to help. Now, this has been abandoned. I'm going to destroy this. He has to get this guy out of here. I'm going to try to destroy this at least. Engine damage. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to click attack ground on this. This is actually a really good thing. I'm going to pull back away from this guy. And with this tank, I did attack ground and destroy that. I do not want these guys. Look at this guy. He's such a tank. So I'm going to Stuka bombing strike in for a round here. And I'm trying to pull out a Veteran Z3 tank. Keep in mind, this guy's the one that almost got destroyed way back over on the other side. And it shocked it. This tank got destroyed here by a lot of these guys. These SUs. So they didn't neutralize this point. I do have a pack up here facing the wrong way, oddly. So infantry up here, I was reinforced. I'm going to go back and take this point here. Okay. Even the commentaries are a little long sometimes. The match is almost over anyway. See, it's still pretty even right now. The victory points are still on their side, but they're just mishandling their tanks. They're having trouble recouping their losses. And charging in SUs like that, like they're treating their SUs like actual maneuverable tanks. I mean, I believe that the German tanks should be more maneuverable because that's how they were. You know, so it seemed pretty. The SUs, at least in this game, they seem pretty unmaneuverable, and that they're designed. And they do have an advantage of that focus sight. Okay, that was a strafing run. Well, that was a anti-tank JU busting run in. More guys are going down in the tanks. Veteran Z2 on this. This has been here a long time, doing a lot of damage. I would be using Blitz to get out of there if I were him, but out of control. Dead. He has a lot of engineers, which is good because how many tanks he has? 3 Tigers. So you can almost say though, We are a strong Tiger force with the amount of fuel we have. Even I'm floating a decent amount of fuel, but I can't make anything else. But, you know, I'm happy with the Luftwaffe. These two, the recon was great. This was good in the beginning, and this was very valuable. Look at them charging 3 Tigers with that damaged SU. Like, I'm not saying some of the industry players are noobs, but you gotta realize at that point, like, you have 5 SUs, like, SU spam. Soviet SU spam, so he's gotta pull back. I'm shooting at this thing, trying to get rid of it. So they've shifted all their armor back onto this side. We've been shifting armor, you know, multiple ways. And this tank's now moving up. Good old veterancy Tiger Ace here. Panther Ace. Panther command tank. Well, he could be my commander technically. Why do we have we have Panzer IVs command tanks? So can we have a Panther command tank? That'd be sweet. So once again, going after the fuel. I'm pushing in. I'm going to get rid of some of these fuel caches, destroy some of the repairing stations. So I'll keep their tanks. Oh, what was that guy shooting at? I'll keep their tanks pretty much out. And I saw through the fog of war these guys were all approaching me. And I was like, I don't like this. So I'm going to pull back. I'm going to blitz out of here. This is what I do often. I'll blitz my tanks after coming back. This guy's in vets. I'm probably going to lose another one. And yeah, the SU spam goes marching on. I hit that and destroy that unit again, which is good. Got my Panzer Strike guys up here. We are ready to intercept any of these SUs that try to fight me. I'm waiting like 2 seconds to another one of these guys' engines here. You can see we have eyes in the sky, and that's my recon this time. Once again, no machine guns on the SU, so they're pretty much 100% anti-tank. And I'm going to stop one of these units. I want to kind of stop this unit that was more damaged, but I decided at the last second to hit this Veterancy 2 guy. Because, you know, he's Veterancy 2. These guys, you know, it's not as veteran as the other ones. And getting rid of him would be a big blow to these guys. So I'm basically using all my munitions as they come in. So I got to pull these guys back. Veterancy 3. I've really kept these 2 Grenadiers the whole time. Just had 2 Grenadiers and 2 Panzer Grenadiers the whole match, and they're pretty vetted up now. And these guys are coming in at this point. I need to take out this, but, you know, look at their armor core. There's like nothing left on the field except these guys. 2 of those. They aren't in trouble. Okay, they have one of these guys that charged the tank. So we charged the tank with the T-34, damaged the engine. Why is this facing the wrong way? I got this for some insurance, but it really didn't pay off. Another Panther. I want to get some of these Panther bolts, and we got to kill some of these T-34-85s. It's not barely cool just to land another fire barrage on him. Su-85 unsupported. Energy 3 tank. I'm going to pull back into this. Oh, there's another one of those. The ratio is 1-to-1. You can usually take out the SUs. But when there's more of them, you know, it's just not good. So this side's been overwhelmed. And they're starting to build some of that. Yeah, we just have, what is that? 5 Tigers, 6 Tigers, 7 Tigers. Yeah, we have 7 Tigers, so. Look at the Soviet industry. It's really hurting them at this point because, I mean, they can't make the infantry to capture these points, really. You know, they're at 174 a minute. And they used up tons of their manpower on these KV-2s, which are pretty much all gone except for one. Look at that. I mean, he has his SUs, but how long is that going to last them? Anyway, that is when they quit. I mean, we had 7 Tigers. We could just keep maneuvering around. These guys are just wiping out their tanks, and we are getting all 3 points at that point. Let's look at the kills here. I had 189 kills and 84 losses. That's 100 positive on kills, 2 losses. And my allies did pretty well also. Good game. You can see how heavy the Soviet losses were just for crispy. But, you know, these guys were positive, very negative. The Soviet industry guys, a lot of heavy tanks, but that's how you overcome them. The manpower will catch up with them eventually. You just keep destroying their tanks. I hope you guys enjoy this. Keep in mind, the Luftwaffe, a good doctrine to use in a 4v4. I would not recommend it in a 2v2 because it just simply does not give you the heavy tanks. I was the only one on my team that was not routing tigers and stuff, so I mean, it was good for me to help doing the supply drops and stuff. And the recon helped my teammates out, and also the bombing run and this. So, hope you enjoyed. I'll probably 221 sign off.